life, I wanted to be a talk show host, and today I'm making that happen. I'm talking about breakups, makeups, and everything in between. So, you broke up. Now what? The most important thing to do is when you break up with somebody, you just gotta let the feelings flood. Just open up the gate and let them go, girl, because it's gonna happen. It's gonna come out sooner than later. You can't just put it on a shelf and be like, oh, I'm gonna deal with it later, because it doesn't work that way. That's how breakdowns happen. So it takes courage and it takes strength to be all in your feelings and grieve and that sort of thing over a relationship, over a person, whatever. With that comes this cycle of emotions. Okay, all of a sudden we're on this roller coaster ride that we didn't really sign up to be on. One day you're like, you know what? I'm a woman. This is 2017 and I can make anything happen. The next minute or the next week, you're crying your eyes out thinking, oh my God, we could have made it work. We had something special. And you're wearing their clothes, you're listening to sad songs, you're texting them or you're calling them and you're leaving them voicemails, and it's like, they don't want them. You know they don't want them because you don't get a response. Unless they say, hey, I want my clothes back. That's how you know it's over. When they start saying things like, you're crazy, you're pathetic, that's how you know it's over. That person who once said that they love you, when they say all that mean stuff to you, that their brain is gone. It's on to the next thing, the next girl, the next whatever, hookup, I don't know. Now, sometimes I let that feeling flood happen, and I wind up getting back together with that person. And there's that little voice in your head that says, you shouldn't have done that. You should not have done that. But for the moment, it feels really, really good. And basically what it's like is it's putting a Band-Aid, okay? But after a certain point, now I'm not saying that you can't make up with somebody after a breakup and live happily ever after. I'm sure that's happened at least once. But from my understanding, from my circumstance and my life, it doesn't happen. You kind of just got to rip the Band-Aid off and let it go. You just got to let it go. Which brings me to my next point. You need to love this person enough to give them space. Love them enough to let them go. I think even in a healthy relationship, there's space. There's not that the relationship is over. You can quit saying things like, oh, he's the one, I think I found him, all of that stuff. And you can focus on the areas of your life that you were maybe neglecting. I think it's important when you end a relationship with somebody that you have an outlet and you kind of pour yourself into something else. You can take all of that love and affection and attention and care that you were giving that person, and you can give it to yourself. You can work on your career and focus on you, and that's what I'm really trying to learn and understand. Is like, you gotta quit looking for the one and realize you need to make yourself the one. So when I was a little girl, I grew up thinking, okay, marriage is for me. I'm going to get married. I'm going to have children. And society kind of brainwashed me into thinking that that's something that I needed. Like, I felt like, okay, I need to have it. And for whatever reason, I felt like I needed to have it by 25. I thought for sure I was going to marry my high school sweetheart. We were going to live happily ever after. Well, guess what? Joke's on me. So long story short is, I'm glad I didn't end up with him, okay? Because he really wasn't a sweetheart. and wondered, like, why do I give everything to other people? Like, I just throw it around, like, here you go, here you go, here you go, here's pieces of me. And I'm like, why wasn't I just giving that to myself? And I'm not saying be completely selfish and narcissistic and think like, oh, I can do everything on my own, I don't need anyone, I'm an island. Because there's got to be balance. But you can't give from an empty bucket. You have to give yourself something first. A lot of times I've seen that when people who don't believe in God, they have this thing where they make the person that they're in a relationship with their religion, so to speak. They treat them like they're their God. And I don't mean that in like a literal sense, like you're not worshiping them, you're not all this stuff, but it's really easy in love to be like, oh, you're my everything, you're my world, you're my number one. And I'm not saying that they shouldn't be your number one to some degree. I'm just saying what happens is you're putting them first above everything, and you're not putting God first. My friend said something about the triangle. And she says, here's you, here's your partner, and then here's God at the top. And you can try to work on the relationship yourselves. You can make each other number one, but you're not really getting closer. The closer you two come to God, the closer you come together. So just think of that when you're in a relationship. My dad has this philosophy. He'll ask me when I'm dating a guy, he'll be like, so does he believe in God? And, there's been times when, no, the guy didn't believe in God, or he didn't have a religion. And my dad goes, well, there you go. That's why it didn't work out. I'm a really spiritual person, and I believe that who you're meant to be with, who's the one, is someone who is going to bring you closer to God, who's going to bring you closer to your highest potential. Your person that you're supposed to be with is your partner. You work together. It's not like I worship you, you worship me. No, that's not healthy. It's okay that you're not married, you're single, you're alone on Valentine's Day, whatever day. It's okay. I saw this quote once and it said, so what? So what? You lost the job, you got fired, your boyfriend left you, your girlfriend left you, you broke up, you're living on the street. It's like, so what? So what? You're still living. You're still here. Now live. So what? Your expectation of a relationship didn't go as planned, or so what, they left you. This is your chance to reinvent yourself and to be better, to be stronger. Breakups are beautiful. They're honest and they're liberating and they're sad. But then at the end of the tunnel, there's this light of joy. And it's like, hey, I got through that. You really truly believe that in our hardest moments, in our weakest moments, that's when we realize our true potential. So there you go, there's your video. I love you. Thank you so much for watching. I hope my eyes weren't too weird and you were able to, not lose focus. Subscribe to my channel.